Hi everyone, this is Casey Hadel with the Elemental, and today we're going to be creating an elemental art piece that I have been commissioned to create for a charity auction in Dallas, Texas. I started to put together this piece today and was really amazed at the items that I pulled out to put together because A, there's a lot of them, B, they're bigger items. I've got two pieces of wood and this giant ammonite. Also this zebra calcite, and I was thinking to myself how I'm going to fit all these pieces onto there. But when I am creating these elemental art pieces, I just allow my intuition to take over and don't question the pieces that I'm picking out, because I know that some way that it will work out together. And as I'm going through these different pieces, essentially what I do to pick them out is I run my hands over the top of the pieces to feel which art piece, which stone, which plant, which piece of wood I feel the most drawn to, and that's how I pick them. Also, I do not alter the pieces after I pick them out. Some pieces are not perfect. Some pieces have rigid lines in them. Some pieces are rough cut. Some pieces are broken, and I feel like that plays a part of putting these elemental art pieces together, is that we're not always whole individuals. And that is what these elemental art pieces are, is they are a reading based on a person's energetic vibration. And then after I finish putting it together, I give what each item means metaphysically. And then I get a synopsis of what all the items together mean. And I was just really amazed by these pieces that I was picking out, because like this zebra calcite is someone that has went through, or has to do with someone that has went through an intense journey where they've really had to address their demons, but it had caused them to establish so much more inner strength of going through those things. I also picked out this candle that I have in my shop to go with it, and it was healing, and I'm just like, oh wow, man, this person has an amazing story that they went through. And I got really excited when I was thinking about building it, because it really leads me to believe that the journey that they went through, that the person, whoever will select this, is this tells their unique journey, and that these pieces will help them on their journey. And I create these pieces to be movable art. You can use the stones to meditate with. You can put the art piece in the center of your table or your energetic space, or on your altar to kind of clear your space and raise the vibration. So it's just kind of exciting. And first we're going to start out with the base here, and you can see on this base, and I kind of had already started to do it and then I stopped to make the video, but you can see these wavy lines, which essentially is where somehow this piece of pear wood got water on it and it created these wavy lines. So I started to go ahead and put some of this feed and wax on it, which is like beeswax and orange oil. And you'll see here, it's really going to bring out the color of this wood. Use an old rag if you got one, or some, torn up t-shirts. I just have like this little hand towel here, and I just go in this little circular motion. And you're going to see how it really starts to bring out the color in it. It also starts to bring out the waves of that water that had gotten into that wood. And look at that, it waves, clouds. It's a really amazing pattern. I don't know how well you can see that on here. But when I see that coming into play, I think about how this person's emotions started to affect their solid foundation, their love, their heart, their promise of a good life. And that's essentially where we're starting. And then what I do next is I kind of feel which side of the wood, because obviously we got two sides. Look at the difference. And before I send this to Dallas, I'll go ahead and put some orange oil on this side, but for all intensive purposes, I'll go ahead and build it and then take a picture first. So we're going to start with that, and then I'm going to run my hands over to figure out which piece is next. And it's this giant ammonite. It is so cool. And you can see on this one, it's got like these little crystal objects in the back here where it's crystalline a little bit. And we're going to feel where we're going to put that. And it really makes a difference which side it goes on, how it goes on. And it doesn't always come together perfectly. I do have an experience, background in landscape design. That's what I went to college for. But I also, I'm a psychic medium. And this is what I do for a living as I put together these art pieces based on psychometry, how it feels, that clairsentient ability to feel things. See how that it's just so freaking amazing how this zebra calcite just slides right under that ammonite like it was meant to be together. It's kind of wobbly there, but I have all these little stones, and when I pick out a lot of little stones, sometimes they're used like shims. If you're not familiar with what a shim is, basically it's used to level something out or hold something up where there's a little wiggle room. So I have this obsidian here, this sheen obsidian, and I kind of just go around where I feel that it's drawn to. Move it around here, get it just right. And as I said, it's made to be movable art. So I put together these pieces, but if they don't go back together after the person receives it exactly how I put it together, that's okay. Because, it's theirs. It's made to be used and not just for show. And there we have that desert rose selenite, such a cool stone. It always reminds me about that wavering, the storm, getting through the desert, those dry times, so that we can turn into this most beautiful rose that we truly are. And then we have this piece of musakarite, which is an awesome stone. And when I was picking it out, like this piece tells so much, but you can see this hole here, and I was amazed by it because to me it kind of looks like a little ghost. And then it's got all these crevices, but musakarite is all about that natural beauty that we have within and allowing that to shine, not letting and knowing that our ancestors are there supporting us, the good and the bad. Here we have these two pieces of hematite. They're connected together, but separate, which is all about coming back to center, finding ourselves through those hard times. And what's wild is, hematite is essentially magnets, but, as I'm doing this, it draws them together, and it wants that piece to go there, and then this other piece back here, which they kind of sense each other, kind of magnetize there, so keep it from rolling off. This piece of amethyst here, call it juicy amethyst, and you can see kind of it's got like these little spots on it where, it might have got smacked really hard when they were creating it, but all those little divots. Amethyst is all about trusting our intuition and allowing ourselves to rise, trusting in ourselves. Here we go. This is a piece of Palo Santo wood, which is also called holy wood. And then we have these two air plants that I picked out here. One is going to go nestled right in here, and the other is not sure where he's going to go. He's going to go back in here. And the last but not least, which I should have put it in first, but I didn't, is the healing candle. Let's see if we can get it just right. And there we have it. We've created our elemental art piece. Now it looks really different from my angle, versus your angle. But let me see if I can move the camera here, and you can see up top how cool it turned out. And then I'll go ahead and put together the reading for this art piece, and I will post the results there in the comments page. But when I look at this, I feel like someone went through an intense separation of, an intense healing journey where they were separated from the person that they loved the most in order to find themselves, to find their magic, and to really rise up into their true divine self. And know that even though they felt like the emotions were going to take over through their journey, that they were still able to find that healing for themselves on their journey. And knowing that they were going to turn into such a beautiful rose as they went through that journey. And knowing that they are also protected on that journey. And, that the reason why I get the separation and the split is because the two pieces of hematite. Hematite's all about coming back to ourselves, coming back to center. There's two plants that are separate. They went through this tremendous break, and it was really the best thing that they could have done, so that way they could really rise up and heal and become their true divine selves. Anyways, thanks for joining me in regards to creating this elemental art piece, and I look forward to speaking with you next time. Have a wonderful afternoon.